नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। शृण्वतां स्वगता कृष्णपुण्यश्रवणकीर्तना हृदयन्तस्थो हि अभद्राणि विद्नोति सुहृत्सथाम्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Reading from Canto 4, Chapter 29, Text 58 to 60. Text 58. Karmanyarvate yena pumaniha vihayatam amutranyena dehena jistani sayadashnute. Synonyms. Karmani, fruitive activities. Arabate, begins to perform. Yena, by which. Puman, a living entity. Iha, in this life. Vihaya, giving up. Tham, that. Amutra, in the next life. Anyena, another. Dehena, by a body. Justani, the result. Sa, he, yat, that. Ashnute, enjoys. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The results of whatever a living entity does in this life are enjoyed in the next life. Purport. A person generally does not know how one body is linked with another body. How is it possible that one suffers or enjoys the results of activities in this body, in yet another body, in the next life? This is a question King wants Narada Muni to answer. How one may have a human body in this life and not have a human body in the next. Even a great philosophers and scientists cannot account for the transferal of karma from one body to another. As we experience, every individual soul has an individual body, and one person's activities or one body's activities are not enjoyed or suffered by another body or another person. The question is how the activities of one body are suffered or enjoyed in the next. Text 59. Iti veda vidam vadaha shruyate tatra tatraha karmayat kriyate proktham paroksham na prakashate. Synonyms. Iti, thus, Veda Vidam, of persons who know the Vedic conclusions. Vadaha, thesis. Shruyate is heard. Tatra tatra, here and there. Ha, certainly. Karma, the activity. Yat, what kriyate is performed. Proktam, as it was said. Paroksham, unknown. Na prakashate is not directly manifested. Translation. The expert knowers of the Vedic conclusions say that one enjoys or suffers the result of his past activities, but practically it is seen that the body that performed that work in the last birth is already lost. So, how is it possible to enjoy or suffer the reactions of that work in a different body? Purport. Atheists want evidence for the resultant actions of past activities. Therefore, they ask, where is the proof that I am suffering and enjoying the resultant actions of past karma? They have no idea how the subtle body carries the results of present body's actions down to the next gross body. The present body may be finished grossly, but the subtle body is not finished. It carries the soul to the next body. Actually, the gross body is dependent on the subtle body. Therefore, the next gross body must suffer and enjoy according to the subtle body. The soul is carried by the subtle body continuously until liberated from the gross material bondage. Text 60. Narada Vacha. Eneva arabate karma teneva mutra tat puman punkte avyavadhanena Lingena manasa swayam. Synonyms Narada Vacha. Narada said, Ena, by which Eva certainly Arabate begins karma, fruitive activities. Thena, by that body. Eva certainly Amutra in the next life. Tat, that Puman, the living entities. Bhungte enjoys he, because Avya Vadhanena, without any change. Lingena, by the subtle body. Manasa, by the mind. Swayam, personally. Translation. The great sage Narada continued, the living entity acts in a gross body in this life. This body is forced to act by the subtle body, composed of mind, intelligence, and ego. After the gross body is lost, the subtle body is still there to enjoy or suffer. Thus, there is no change. The living entity has two kinds of body, the subtle body and the gross body. Actually enjoys through the subtle body, which is composed of mind, intelligence, and ego. The gross body is the instrumental outer covering. When the gross body is lost or when it dies, the root of the gross body, the mind, intelligence, and ego continues and brings about another gross body. Although gross bodies apparently change, the real root of the gross body, the subtle body, mind, intelligence, and ego, is always there. The subtle body's activities, be they pious or impious, create another situation for the living entity to enjoy or suffer in the next gross body. Thus, the subtle body continues, whereas the gross bodies are gods change one after another. Since the modern scientists and philosophers are too materialistic, and since their knowledge is taken away by the illusory energy, they cannot explain how the gross body is changing. The materialistic philosophers, Darwin has tried to study the changes of the gross body, but because he had no knowledge of either the subtle body or the soul, he could not clearly explain how evolutionary process is going on. One may change the gross body, but he works in the subtle body. People cannot understand the activities of subtle body, and consequently they are bewildered as to how the actions of one gross body affect another gross body. The activities of subtle body are also guided by the super soul, as they are as explained in Bhagavad Gita 15:15. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivisto matta smriti jnanam apohanancha. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. Because the Supreme Personality of Godhead as a super soul is always guiding the individual soul, the individual soul always knows how to act according to the reactions of his past karma. In other words, super soul reminds him to act such a way. Therefore, although there is apparently a change of gross body, there is a continuation between the lives of an individual soul and a purpose. Om Ajnanti Brandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasma Shri Gurue Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I humbly seek the blessings of all assembled Vaishnavas, please forgive me for any misinterpretation. So, this king, after hearing from Narada Muni, is asking questions to Narada that the the knowers of the Vedas, they say the results of the activities of performed in this body is enjoyed in the next life. So he's asking, the activities are performed in this present body. This present body will be perished. Then how the results can be enjoyed in another body? So this is common question asked by many people who are the Hatma Buddhi, the bodily consciousness of life. They think this body is all in all. So uh, there is no life or no rebirth after this body is finished. So let's enjoy as much as possible in this body. So the leader of this uh, materialist or atheistic view is Charvak Muni. He says um, that Ranam Kritva Gritam Pivet Yavat Jivet Sukam Jivet Basmibhutasya Dehasya Kuta Punam Agamano Bhavet. So Ranam means borrow, beg, borrow, steal, whatever you do, just enjoy as much as possible in this life. Uh, the when this body dehasya basma means burnt ashes, how it can come back to again life. So enjoy as much as possible in this life. That is the uh, thesis or the arguments by Charvak Muni, and majority of the people are following the same argument because they do not know that we are not this body, we are the soul. Soul cannot be cut into pieces or burned to ashes. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that Nainam chindanti shastrani, Nainam dahati pavakaha, Nachainam kledayanti apa, na shoshayati maruta. That means the soul cannot be cut into pieces by shastra weapon or burned to ashes by fire. So it continues to exist. But the fools, they cannot see all this. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Utkramantam sitam vapi bhunjanam vagunanvitam vimudananu pashyanti jnana chakshusha. How the living entity quits one body and takes up another body and enjoys or suffers in the next life, that a fool cannot see it. Vimuda means a great fool cannot see all these things. Pashyanti jnana jakshusha. One who has his eyes are opened by this transcendental knowledge, he can see clearly all these things. So, in this regard, there is one story that there was one man. He worked very hard throughout his life, and his desire was to build a big bungalow and worked throughout his life and built a very nice bungalow for his wife and children. Unfortunately, death came. He was born as the son of a cobbler in the neighborhood in the same town. But somehow he was able to remember his past life that he built that bungalow. Usually, normally, when we quit the grass body or take up next body, we forget everything in the past life. But this uh, cobbler's son, he was able to remember. So when he became a young man, he came to that bungalow. At that time, his sons from previous life, they were the owners. And he mentioned that I built this bungalow with a lot of hard work. But the children, they knew their father has built it. So they beat him up and then chased him away. Uh, for this cobbler's son, after some time, yes, death came to him. In the next life, he became a snake. And in that snake life, also, he was attracted to that bungalow. So, somehow, when he tried to enter in the snake body, his grandkids were the owners. They saw the snake and beat him up with a stick and killed. So, in this way, our material activities simply cause a bondage and we suffer and enjoy life after life in different bodies. So one must try to do spiritual activity. The spiritual activities are liberating. Lord's one name is Mukunda, who awards liberation. So the process for this age of Kali Yuga is Kalautad Harikirtanat. For this age of Kali Yuga is Chanting the holy name of the Lord is the means to liberate from the cycle of birth and death. So I'll stop here. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Hare Krishna.